Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today it is Friday and I found out that I got done with all of my work by Thursday, and that means that today's kind of a bonus day for me. That means that I get to do some more things that are a little bit more fun. I have some studying that needs to be done, a test that needs to be passed, and some just little things like that that I really can't do during the work week if I have a lot of stuff on my plate. But this week I was done last night. So I thought I'd share some tricks and tips that I use to make sure that I can be done with my work week by Thursday. Um, as always, if you enjoy these videos, please like, share, and subscribe. Let me know. And feel free to comment below and let me know what topics you'd like me to cover in a future video. I do read the comments. So, please feel free to do that. We're all aware of this. The work week drags by. It's even a little bit tougher for me because my sweetheart works on Saturday most days or most weekends, so that's a bit of a challenge, but because I try to stay focused at work, by Friday I'm usually done. Not always. It's not perfect. I'm not perfect at this by any means, but I'm usually done, and I'm usually then able to focus on some other things that needs to be done. And I'm going to share a few tips and tricks with you about that, so that you too can be done with your work week by Thursday. Now, you might not be able to leave the office on Friday and just take an extra day off, but it gives you a little bit more time to maybe work on some long-term projects. My long-term project right now is finishing my bachelor's degree and preparing for my MBA. So, and then there's a lot that I have going on that's a long-term project, improving my business, taking care of things that are a little bit more difficult to be taken care of during a normal work week, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. So with that, and it's kind of interesting because I also have the ability to expand my work. I can be very focused and compress it, or I can be a little bit more distracted and expand it. There's a reason why I don't like to work for an hourly wage, and that is because I like to get my work done quickly, and if I'm doing that on an hourly wage, well, then I'm not really getting paid for what I actually do. I'm getting paid for something else. I'm getting paid to hold down a chair, basically. I don't like that. I don't like that feeling. I didn't enjoy it when I was in corporate America. I would really prefer to be rewarded for being focused and dedicated and able to get things done quickly. And I've been known to literally work myself out of jobs because they were expecting something to be a 40-hour week, and I was getting done in 30 hours, so which is why I started my own business. But even if you are in an hourly, in a situation where you can't leave the office on Friday, you still want to have some time built into your week where if something comes up, you have another day. If you, and this was actually on a holiday week, and I'm still done by Thursday. But if your kid gets sick or breaks his arm, and you need to go take care of that, you know you have the time built into your work week. If there's a lot of unforeseen things that can happen. I remember when my son broke his arm. It was about 5 years ago, and everything dropped. It was like when my loved ones need me, I tend to drop everything and just go. So, oh, I just realized I have this cool graphic up here on one side and it's not showing on the live, but be done by Thursday. Technical difficulties are the fun part of live TV, right? So it gives you a chance to kind of build in the idea that life happens, and sometimes you're not going to be working 40 hours, but you still have things that need to be done. You may have life projects you want to work on. You may have I just like having an extra day off to do schoolwork, to clean my house, and to kind of be prepared for whatever the weekend might bring. Um, and I really like to get a jump start on the following week. Really do some more planning, some more planning, and what can I do now that will save me time next week? And I really love to do that on Fridays and Sundays. So how do you get there? Well, the first thing is to be very intentional on your scheduling. You really want to view Friday as the weekend. You want to view Thursday at 5 or Thursday at the close of business as the end of your work week, and then Friday's kind of a bonus day. That means nothing work related for me gets scheduled on Friday. I'm actually doing this on purpose. Some of it, I've talked before about boundaries with my clients. I was just talking to one of my mentors and told her I have actually had clients call me with the expectation that I would answer the phone at 11:30 at night. And of course, I didn't answer because if it's not related to friends or family, if it's nights and weekends, I'm not available. And they were quite perturbed that I didn't make myself available. So I'm very careful about boundaries, and I'm very careful about, if you message me on Friday, I'm probably not going to respond to that because this is a day off for me. I really want to get all of my phone calls, messages, emails, and everything scheduled early in the week. I try not to schedule conference calls, sales appointments, anything. Nothing gets scheduled on Friday. This is either a day for deep work or it's a day for preparation for the following week. If you're someone that ends up with a lot of meetings, it's also kind of a mental break for you to prepare for the meetings that are coming up. To make sure that everything has been followed through from the previous week's meetings. But you just really want to have this one day of the week where your calendar is clear. And it is really, really nice to do it. You also want to be intentional with your scheduling throughout the week. And what that means is it's so much easier to group meetings or time out of the office together. I really, really try to do that. Now, it's not always possible. Sometimes I have to, Monday's kind of my out of office day where I know I'm going to be out of the office, and so I'll stack up a lot of things that I need to do that day. That's really when I try to get everything run at the same time, because Friday is kind of my day off. And note the air quotes. Yeah, it's kind of my day off. It's not really, but it sort of is. Now, you don't have complete control over your calendar, but I really try to get my clients to schedule their time with me and to schedule it Monday through Thursday. And it's really best if I schedule it on a day when I know I'm going to be on the phone. Or I know I'm going to be out. When I'm out doing other things is when I want to be out doing sales calls. When I'm out doing, or when I'm going to be on the phone all day is when I want to spend the day on the phone. I just really want to have that time focused for that one thing. So it's going to take some playing with the calendar to get that done. And for me, if it's not on the calendar, it really doesn't exist. The next one is, focusing on your priorities during the week. That means that during office hours, during the week, my focus is on client work, and I do everything I possibly can to keep my focus on client work. The door to my office stays shut during the week if someone's home. I like to have it open because of air conditioning kind of things, but if someone's home, I'll go into my office and shut the door, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit more. And then I really focus on what is most important for me to accomplish. What are my routine tasks that I accomplish? What is coming up that I want to get done? And I want to make sure that by the time the day has ended, I have done everything that I set out to do that day. And that kind of leads to this next one, which is be distraction free. I know that email and texting are kind of preferred methods of communication these days. People don't like to be on the phone, which is fine. I really like to, if I know I'm going to have a block of time to get things done, I prefer to turn off phone notifications, email notifications, everything, so that I can be 100% present for the client that I'm working on. This is when I will shut the door and lock it. This is when I will also use a Pomodoro timer, and that's kind of part of the last one, focusing on priorities. Pomodoro, and I'll do a whole video on this. I think I've already done a video on it, but I'll do it again. Pomodoro is just Italian for tomato, and it comes from the tomato-shaped kitchen timers. Well, I have one on my phone, and because I have a smartwatch, it links, the notifications come to my smartwatch. And so I will set a timer for 25 minutes and really focus for 25 minutes on what I'm doing. And that's really kind of the end of my attention span. I hate to say it. I have the attention span of a mayfly. But, oh, look, something pretty. Oh, what? Yeah. It's hard for me to stay focused. It's also hard because I work from home, and most of the people in my neighborhood have known me long enough to know that work is the primary word in work from home. There have been times when I was literally the only stay-at-home mother on my street and was able to deal with an emergency because of that. I was really fortunate. But the primary thing is I work at home, and so if it's not on my schedule, you know, if someone's coming to the door and I don't know them, or I know they're going to want to talk a long time, I might not answer the door. And that is so I can stay in my zone, I can stay distraction free, I can really get into flow. And for 25 minutes, I really can get into flow. And then I am antsy enough that I need to jump up and do something else. And the other things that I do, because I work from home, and this is going to be different for everyone, that 25 minutes solid focused work, if I'm really in the groove and in flow, I will ignore the timer. If I'm struggling to focus, but I notice that, oh, I made it to 25 minutes and I'm not twitching, trying to do other things, I'll reward myself just by going to get a drink or walk around the house a little bit. If I was in an office, this would be my time to go to the water cooler and get something to drink, and maybe do a little lap down the hallway or something. But the idea is to get up and do something else for 25 minutes, not for 25. Work for 25 minutes, do something else for 5 minutes, and sometimes kind of the ideas that are percolating in the back of my brain will kind of come forward when I have my attention off of that. Now for myself, again, I work in my home, so that I usually do take that time to take care of some chores. Yesterday I cleaned out my storage room 5 minutes at a time, all day long. I would run downstairs and take another box and organize it and take care of it. I did kind of leave my family room a mess, but I got my storage room cleaned out and boxes and boxes of stuff in the garbage and more stuff that's going to go on for sale, because I allowed myself 25 minutes to work and 5 minutes to just work on chores. The idea of working on chores is not so much to get the chores done, although it's really handy. It is to be doing something other than working for a few minutes. Kind of rests your brain. It's really awesome. If you haven't tried the Pomodoro method, I highly recommend it. Just Google it. There's all kinds of materials out there. I will do another video later on how I use it and why I consider it effective, but it works really, really well for me. Going back to the distractions, another way that I use to kind of tune out distractions is headphones. These are my Bluetooth Skullcandy headphones. I will actually put these in and really try to focus on what I'm doing. There's just something to me about having headphones in, even if I'm not playing any music, that allows me to really tune out either the silence in the house. Sometimes I feel like it's too quiet, or the noise of other people, if there happen to be other people around. Most of the time there's not. Again, I'm lucky there's nobody here. So I can do things like turn up the tunes so that I'm able to, that kind of helps my brain focus and tune out any distractions. It doesn't work for everyone. Find what works for you. I used to use a lot of binaural beats, a lot of HemiSync, a lot of anything I could find to really dial in my focus, because I do tend to get very distracted. Okay, next one. Use shortcuts. Find shortcuts. And what I mean by this is, if you're writing a document, basically the same document over and over and over, save a copy of it, and then you can just change what you need to change. If you're doing the same email response over and over and over, just create a canned response. Really see what you can do that will eliminate some of the unnecessary time spent on certain things. I do this a lot in my profession. Excuse me. I'm not going to give away all of my secrets, but yes, I do use the bank feeds and the downloads to speed up my work so that I can do things faster. Now, that doesn't mean that you can do that and just get away with automating everything to do with bookkeeping, but I can automate some of it and then spend more time on the accounting side reviewing financials and making sure everything's correct, and really it frees up some less productive time so I can spend the time bringing more value to my clients. So you want to really look about, what can I automate? What in my routines can I create? Now, and some of this, by the way, I'm going to speak to the ladies. I spend a lot of time cleaning house. You might want to consider that you maybe need to hire someone to clean your house. Same thing with the distractions. You might need to decide that you need to hire a babysitter to be with your kids so you can focus on things and deal with distractions. This is for mothers who work from home. It doesn't necessarily mean that every mother is going to need that, but if you're a mom and you work from home and your kids are a little bit rowdy and they're constantly distracting you, really consider hiring a babysitter for a few hours. I know it's tough. I've been a very broke single mom most of my life, so I totally relate. I remember what it was like. I'm just lucky that I'm an empty nester now. Whatever shortcuts you need. I actually enjoy keeping my house clean, so I'm not too worried about that right now. The time will come when I say I have to have a housekeeper. Any shortcuts that you can find, and yes, keeping your house, a housekeeper, a nanny, even if you decide I'm spending a lot of time driving, I could be working during this time. Again, it's actually something I enjoy doing, so I don't worry about it, but I might someday decide, I'd rather have an Uber take me to these errands so that I can work in the car. That's why, if you see The Devil Wears Prada, Mary, now I'm drawing a blank. A lot of executives will actually have a car and driver, especially in the New York City area, because they spend that time really working, rather than spending their time driving. You can do this with public transport. You can do this, you kind of think outside the box. Whatever shortcuts you can find, use them, because a little bit more time spent working on something that needs to be done means a little bit more time that you have at the end of the week. So remember that you're always looking for absolute top-notch results. You do not want to be taking shortcuts that create problems for you later. You really want to look at your routine and see, what can I do? How can I do this more efficiently, basically? That's kind of it for today. That's really what I wanted to comment about. I'm going to go back to studying now, take my pre-assessment for my class and get ready to start my next class. I have a pre-assessment to prepare for, and then to take, and then an exam, and then I need to start my next class, which will be my last class of the semester. And I'm really excited about that because that means I'm that much closer to my degree. So, yeah. If you would like to reach out to me, if you would like to have my team and I do your bookkeeping and accounting, please reach out to us at this website right here. I would love to talk to you. Let me know about your business. By the way, if you are just starting a business, now is the perfect time to get a bookkeeper. Remember what I said about shortcuts? Getting a bookkeeper is a shortcut you want to take. They will take care of you. We will take care of you. That's all for today. I'm looking forward to talking to you again next week. Have a